Thank you, Alan. We're back with our fifth group of FFA members on FFA Day on KSMO Media. I've got 5 young men with me now. I think they're all juniors or seniors, maybe all seniors. I'm not sure. We might have a junior mixed in. You're going to find that information out here shortly as they introduce themselves, tell a little bit about their background, their grade in school, who their family is, that kind of information, so you have a better idea of who they are. And so for our listeners and our viewers, I'd like for you to start introducing yourselves, gentlemen. That matter who goes first.
I can go first to start us
All right,
off.
go ahead,
It doesn't
Braden.
bother me a bit. My name's Braden Hedrick. My mom and dad are Justin and Summer Hedrick, and we just own a little farm here in Salem. And my dad and uncle and grandpa kind of own it all together. They do their thing, and that's about it.
Okay, very good. Who's next? Just jump right in. Landon?
My name is Landon Cook. I've been in the 4-H and FFA for about 7 years now. My mom and dad are Chad and Kimberly Cook. Got a small farm here in Salem, Missouri. Yeah.
Okay, good.
My name is Wyatt Martin, and my dad and mom are Brent and Amy Martin.
Now, boys, we are on video, so everybody's going to see your shenanigans. So
Okay.
minimize it, but I didn't say eliminate it. Let's face it. You need to have an enjoyable time doing this. It should not be painful.
All right.
But they'll make it painful for you if they can, Wyatt. So
Oh, yeah.
keep that in mind.
We used to raise cattle and then switched on to hogs and got into hogs pretty heavy there for a while and kind of stopped that.
That's Wyatt Martin, and you're a junior, right?
Yeah.
Okay, next.
My name's Sean Marty. My parents are John and Paula Marty, and we have a little farm out close to Rolla, and we just run cows on it and have a pig and some chickens, and used to have rabbits, and then we used to do hay, and that's basically it.
Okay, you'll get to tell more about those types of enterprises that your family or you are involved in as we go along. Go ahead.
My name is Joseph Griffith, son of Joe and Janice Griffith. My dad has a construction business, so I work for him doing that. I've been in ag for a couple of years.
Okay, very good. That's who these 5 gentlemen are that I have with me. Let's talk about why you enrolled in ag education, became an FFA member. What's the reasons behind your decision to enroll in ag education? And again, it doesn't matter who goes first. Sometimes the easiest is to go first. That way you don't sound like you're repeating somebody else's ammunition that they shared. So whoever wants to go.
I enrolled in ag. I just wanted to pursue a career in the ag industry. I've always had a love for agriculture and cattle and all that. Yeah.
Okay, Landon, very good.
I guess I enrolled in ag because that's just what I grew up doing. I spent my whole life around animals, livestock, the farm, and just kind of grew up into it.
Okay, that's a good enough reason as any. Who's next? John?
I'll go ahead.
Braden? Doesn't matter.
I guess I got involved in ag and everything because, like Wyatt said, not trying to repeat, but I did grow up in it ever since I was young. Me and my dad were always riding around on horses, taking care of cattle and everything else. So I would say that that's part of the reason why I got involved in it. And then also, like Landon said, I saw that there was something in it that I'd probably enjoy a little bit. And so I decided that it might be a good group for me to be involved in.
Okay, very good. John?
I enrolled in ag because I like the idea of ag and I like learning about it, and just like all the other guys have said, I kind of grown up doing stuff on a farm and stuff like that, and I like the idea of being able to work in the metal shop, and I like the teachers down there.
All good reasons. Joe?
I enrolled in ag. A lot of my family's been in it. I've seen it. I've got interested in it. I've seen stuff that they do and have done, and it's always interested me. I didn't grow up on a farm, but I grew up always working. So that's the reason why I joined.
Okay, very good. Let's let's talk about something maybe a little different than that aspect. What have been your favorite activity or activities in FFA, and why were those your favorite? Why was that? What's been your favorite activity and why?
I mean, I guess I can start. So, me and a decent amount of the ag member or the FFA members ended up getting a chance to go and participate in teaching the kids at Beef Days. And I didn't really know a lot about the topic that I got involved in. Me and Clayton were involved in teaching kids about safety on different motor vehicles and stuff like side-by-sides and stuff like that. And I never really grew up around that, but I knew a little bit of safety and just teaching other kids how to be safe with those things, even though a lot of them ride around on four-wheelers and everything else and probably know a lot more than me. I had a fun time in doing that and teaching kids, so that was
Okay.
cool.
Very good. Somebody else.
My favorite activity was probably Green Hen Night. You know, everyone's just starting out in ag in the FFA program, and so everyone gets together. We have a good night together, have fun, good food. It's probably my favorite part about it is the food, because there's always good food. But yeah, Green Hen Night is always fun.
Very good.
I think my favorite activity would probably the expo. It's a fun time, good friends, get to show your animals. You got to get to see the community. Yeah.
And our expo's special. It's a really good one.
Mhm.
Other folks that come, visitors from other locations, compliment us on the job we do with the 4-H and FFA Expo in Dent County. So, all right, somebody else, their favorite.
I would have to say the expo would also be one of my favorite FFA activities. It's kind of cool. I used to take an animal that just starting out, and then you kind of work with that animal and you watch it grow and you train it and you take care of it. And then at the expo, you kind of all that work during the summertime kind of falls in, and you win showmanship or.
And all culminates with the final sale of those animals at the expo. You bet. All right, good reasons.
My favorite activity is actually about a class because I have the ag construction class, and I like that class because we get to do a lot of work in there and build panels or work on hog pens and stuff like that. And it's just a good class. So you get to be in there with all your friends, and Mr. Sanders is a good teacher, and he teaches us what we need to know.
Okay. All right. These men do a good job of explaining and answering the questions I pose to them. Let me ask you what you found as that we might call challenging or difficulties. What have you found to be the most challenging or most difficult part of your ag education and or FFA experience? To ponder that.
That's a tough one.
What was difficult? Now, I'll go ahead and say, for some folks, one thing is difficult, and that might not be for somebody else. That's because we're all different. We're not the same. And so, whatever Sean may find difficult, Braden may not have. But it's just personal preference and experience.
I would say that memorizing the creed in Ag 1, that was pretty difficult because you got to memorize 5 paragraphs, and it's not really my specialty. And then some of the tasks that we get presented with in our construction class can be pretty tough because you have to, figure out how to make something work, and it's pretty hard to do sometimes.
What's the reason behind the assignment of the creed in Ag 1?
I think discipline.
What?
I think discipline.
Self-discipline.
Mhm.
Yeah. Making oneself do something that you really don't want to do.
Yeah. It's like basically showing your commitment to it. If you're actually going to do that, you'll be committed to Ag, and you'll want to continue and stick with it.
Well put. Well put.
I mean, I guess I can add to what Sean was saying, like in construction class, having the different activities allows you to work on your problem solving and everything and different projects, and that can definitely be a challenge, when you're faced with something. What's the best way to take care of that situation and, weld a piece of metal to where it can make your project hold up better than it would. You know, that can definitely be a challenge.
And get that put in place without distorting the whole
Yep.
project. That's all part problem solving. I'm glad you've identified that self-discipline part, responsibility, problem solving. Okay, what else we found difficult?
I'd have
Joe?
to say the most difficult thing for me was starting out with the record book, getting the hang of it, and keeping everything in order. You know, what you spend, what you make, all that. So.
A good point. And almost every group, somebody will mention record keeping as what they found to be most difficult. I think it was the last group, or maybe the previous, doesn't matter. One of the students pointed out that Ag is the only class where you have to keep those records of personal and animal, or whatever your essay is, the expenses and receipts and all those details, which of course is teaching you a life skill, because you're going to wind up doing that. You mentioned working with your dad in a construction company. He has to keep records of how much material goes into a project, and whether he's overbid or underbid a project as well. So there's lots to it. What else? Anything else we found as difficulties?
Not to sound like I'm piggybacking off of Joe or anything, but I would have to also say record books and whatnot. It's hard to, you know, you gotta think about what your expenses are and what you've earned and everything. And some of us aren't good at keeping all that information, so you know,
Yeah.
sometimes you forget.
For some reason, waiting till the day before record books are due, it makes it really, really difficult, doesn't it, guys?
Yeah.
You see almost 100% agreement around the table here with us. All right, anything else that you found challenging or difficult?
You guys care?
Landon says everybody else took my ammunition. Nothing left that I found. Rest of it's been pretty easy. Well, let's talk about, and I, again, pay attention to my time because I don't want to mess us up on that. Let's deal with your SAEs. What is your SAE for ag education?
My SAE is, I guess you could say, beef production. We take 5 steers between me and my cousin and brother, and we've got our 3 that we really focus on raising and breaking them for the expo, and then we have 2 extras that we kind of keep back and we mess with them, but I mean not as much, you know. And that's just in case something does happen, you know, your animal dies, or it's too wild to tame, or, you know, just something like that. And, you know, from there we just work with them and get them to where they're tame in public, and we bring them outside, you know, put them in different situations around fans and equipment that's outside too, to just kind of get them used to what's going on and everything. And also we try to, you know, mix people up. Sean's come in before and we've had him walk around them. We've had grandparents come around them and pet on them, and, you know, kind of get them used to other people.
Yeah, it's part of raising that show animal and getting it
Yep.
prepared for different atmosphere, different environment during a show. And you also do work on the farm, I'm sure, as well.
Yep.
So, okay, someone else for your SAE. Landon?
My SAE is a show hog. I've shown hogs all my life. I've also got a new upcoming SAE. I'm starting my own hay business, or trying to do the custom hay business. Yeah.
Good deal. And there again, go back to the record keeping. You'll definitely have to do that in order to determine, all right, am I
Yeah.
making any money, or is it just all going to all these supplies and what have you? All right, next one.
My SAE, since I've been in 4-H, has been swine or market hogs, and I've showed market hogs for 8 years now, all around Missouri, and went to state several times and showed. And yeah.
Okay. Hog operation.
My SAE is working on a farm for a farmer named Tom Gallhofer, and basically all I do out there is just feed cows, feed hay, and, you know, just do whatever he needs me to do, fix fence, stuff like that.
And a lot of folks do placement as part of their SAE.
Yep.
It's, in fact, even going back as far as when I was teaching, that was one of our areas of emphasis was kids work, but a lot of time it's not recognized that they're working on those home farms or neighbors' farms. It doesn't necessarily just have to be the home farm. We're at the point we need to take our first break. I'm going to ask Braden if he would share the names of some of our almost 50 sponsors of FFA Day on KSMO Media. Braden?
So for everybody listening, our title sponsor is Robertson Judson Lumber Company, Family Trash Services Incorporated, Chilton Oil Company, Goes Window Cleaning, Salem Community Center and Armory, Cuddy's Well Service and Plumbing LLC, Plant Termite and Pest Control. All these.
Just in that first group.
Okay, then I'm
Just
good.
in that group.
Yep.
All right, with that, thank you, Braden. We'll send it back to Alan on the board, and we'll be back in about 90 seconds.
Southtown Furniture. Southtown, where the bargains are. We've got everything from furniture to appliances. Quality floor covering. We won't be undersold, you'll see. To you, that is our guarantee. Southtown Furniture, where the bargains are.
Sorry, Dad.
Sure, you could get him a new car. You could also light a pile of money on fire.
Sorry.
Because as long as Mr. It wasn't my fault takes the wheel on occasion, maintaining this car is your best option. So keep it running longer, stronger, with quality parts and a whole lot of Napa know-how.
Dad, where are you going?
Relationships. It's not just being on a first name basis. It's a partnership built on trust. This is Scott Ball, president of the Bank of Salem. Since 1883, the Bank of Salem has been serving our local community with the kind of personal service and professionalism that builds relationships. We've earned the trust of our customers with over a century of strength and stability, never once changing our name or compromising customer service. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Salem, visit our website, or download our free mobile app. The Bank of Salem, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
All right, we're back for our second half of the fifth group. I've got 5 young men with me, and they're doing an excellent job sharing with our listeners and viewers about their experiences in ag education, FFA. You don't have to worry about answering that. Okay?
We got a call in.
We,
Question.
I think we've had a call come into the station during nearly every group today, and some days it never rings. Seriously, let's go back to one of the topics I want to make sure we deal with. We've got upperclassmen here, so they've had a number of years to be involved in different contest teams. We have 2 areas, the career development events and the leadership development events. Years ago, we didn't really separate those 2, but I now hear the term LDE a lot more than I used to. So, would you share if you've been involved, what career development events, what contest teams you've been involved in the past, or you're involved in this year? So again, whoever wants to dive in, go.
Well, the last 2 years, I've had the opportunity to be in the agronomy contest team, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoy plants and everything else, and this year I was signed up to do that same exact team, but I thought about it a little bit, and I had done the agronomy team 2 times, and I kind of wanted to change it up a little bit, and so I ended up signing up for the soils team this year. And I mean, my whole mindset behind that was, I've kind of learned about plants a little bit. I'd like to learn about what's under the dirt with those plants and the soils and everything else that goes along with it. So
every time somebody's brought up the soils team today, I've done just a little preaching, kind of, and bear with me just a moment. But I think as people in agriculture, many times we take the soil for granted, but we need to keep in mind that we are using the soil and caring for it to produce a product that we're going to market either as hay, like Landon said, with a hay business he's starting, a hay harvest business, or through our animals. And these guys with beef cattle know exactly, and listeners know exactly what we're talking about there. I think your study of soils and couple that with what you've done in Gromie is a great base for future involvement in agriculture. Really doing a good job with agriculture production. Okay, I'll be quiet for a moment anyway. Other career development events guys are involved in, or you've been involved in the past. Sean?
I haven't done any contest teams before this year, but this year I'm signed up to do the soils because I wanted to do one, but just Braden was already on the list for the agronomy team, so that team was filled up. And then I saw soils, and I was like, well, that's probably the most interesting thing because I can actually use that eventually later on in life, probably.
Absolutely. And Ms. J does a really good job training soils teams as well. Anybody else? All right, Wyatt?
I'd never done a contest team in the past. I just signed up this year kind of out of interest for it. I signed up for the soils team, and it was actually because of you, Mr. Parsons. I remember having you sophomore year, and we'd studied the ground, and we took soil samples on our property and everything, and I think that really interested me, and I decided to join the soils team.
Well, cool. I guess my time spent with you did bear a little dividend. Pleased. Good. Okay. Anybody else going to do a contest team?
This year, I haven't done a contest team the other years I've been in ag, but this year I signed up for the dairy foods, and the dairy. Just, I like cheese and milk, so.
Well, somebody earlier today mentioned that was the team they'd signed up for, and I asked them that question if they like milk and like cheese, and I don't know, I never trained a dairy foods team, but I always heard if you like them, you won't do very well in the contest because you have trouble differentiating those flavors, particularly when it comes to the milk.
Yeah.
Pardon me. They use different techniques to doctor that. Pardon me. To doctor the milk to cause it to have different flavors. So good luck. That's all I say. I got to take a shot of this. Somebody else talk about contest teams. It is my call. Okay.
I've never been in a contest team. This year, I've actually signed up with these boys with the soil contest. I've never really knew about soil. I've always wanted to know how things grow and develop with our soil. Yeah.
So I've got the soils team. Is there anyone else signed up for soils?
Yeah, I think Oliver Midget signed up with us too.
So basically, we've got the soils team right.
Yep.
Maybe Oliver will kick one of you off. And just Oliver and the three of you going on to districts, but time will tell. Depends on how hard any of you want to work to be real straightforward with it. Let's talk about your future plans. I know we've got, you guys are getting towards the end of your high school career, seniors in particular. What's your future plans? And anybody, again, start?
I mean, I guess since I'm a senior, I should know my future plans by now, but I really don't. I'm kind of winging it, per se, and I'm walking into it kind of blind, but I know that I'm pointed in a general direction, and I want to go into something that involves agriculture, and, I've been looking towards the ministry and different things like that, so I really don't know where I'm headed, but I'm headed somewhere. I know that for sure.
Well, you'll find your way.
Yep.
You got several guiding lights around you, so to speak, referring to your family, and you'll figure out what your interest area, where it takes you, and you'll do well. Okay. Sean's got his all planned out.
So I'm kind of in the same boat, actually.
I misread that.
I may be a senior too, and graduation may be in a little less than 3 months, but I'm still just kind of, my current plan is just to work throughout the summer and do some more thinking on what I want to do after that, but I don't really have a set plan for what I'm going to do. Just a few things on my mind.
Okay. I'll give you some guidance here a little bit.
I guess I'll hop in the boat with them. I really don't know what I'm doing after school either. You know, there's a lot of things you can do out there, and just really haven't decided quite yet.
Okay. You still got a little time, and again, I'll share in a little while. Joe?
Well, I've got a little bit more of a plan than these guys, but
Thank the Lord.
I'm planning on staying in the construction business with my dad.
Okay.
Something else pops up along the way, I might see where that takes me, but so far this is what I'm planning on doing, maybe taking it over one day.
Okay. Very good. Got a plan.
Yeah, I think I'm with these three boys. I don't really have much of a plan, but I would like to pursue my career in the agricultural business. I've thought about veterinary school, just doing cattle. I mean, there's a lot you can do. It's just finding out what you want to do is the thing.
Well, and it's not guidance, just quickly from my personal experience. I knew I need to go to college. I'm the oldest of three boys, and there was not enough farm to stay at home and farm. So I knew I had to go to college. And I went to college for 2 years before I settled on a major, which was agriculture education. And so I had to go an extra semester, so I wound up actually 4.5 years of education at the University of Missouri. And then came to Salem to spend 3 to 5 years, and now 5 decades later, I'm still here. And so you'll find your path. Just be patient. Do something, though. Don't just, today, the opportunities in technical skills is so much greater than it's ever been. We have great technical schools, both at OTC and Lynn State, and keep those in mind, and you'll find your way. Veterinarian school is a great goal, but boy, that's a tough row to hoe. It sure is. Not saying you can't do it. I'm sure you probably can. But it requires a lot of work and a lot of expense and a lot of time. But it's worth it in the end, and we definitely do, in this country, need more veterinarians. That's one of the shortages we've got that's really taxing rural Missouri and rural agriculture in our country. So we got some plans, and then we will find our pathway to the rest of our life somewhere out there. Your boat's not sinking yet.
Too many people.
Yet. Well, the thing about it is, and I know you guys well enough, I think I know all of you that think you're in this boat that's sinking, or might be, you're all workers. And that's one of the keys. If you're willing to work, and you'll work, you'll always have work. And you can make do. I heard some of the boys over talking at noon there while I was having lunch. I won't mention the fact, but I'll tell you the initials that Sean was sitting there, and they were talking about jobs that made a lot of money. Well, you can make all the money in the world and still not have a very good job, or a job you enjoy, I should say. So make sure it's something you enjoy going to work. So. I don't think Sean was the one really looking for the high money, but he might have been. If he was, well, that's the way it goes. Guys, what do you feel have been some of the benefits that you have gained out of being in ag education and FFA?
Hard working is my main one. Growing up on a farm, I mean, it's always, work. There's always something to do. And also, public speaking. Like this, what we're doing right now. It's helped a lot in that too.
For those that are on the radio, several heads are in the bobblehead mode. They're going up and down here agreeing with what Landon was saying about the public speaking.
There's a lot of things that it helps you with. Responsibility. There's a lot of that. I think that's all mine.
Excellent. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Public speaking has been a big one for me too. It wasn't always one of my strong suits, but FFA has helped me a lot with it. And then work ethic and responsibilities have been big ones too.
Excellent. Very good. All right, want to add something?
I would say patience would be the biggest thing I've learned out of it. Trying to break something to walk, or raising an animal, or trying to produce more of that animal. It takes some time. You kind of along with the ride.
Yeah. You got to learn what to do and then do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sean?
I would say some of the big benefits of being in ag is you get to learn like a lot of socialization. You get to meet a lot of new people. Like if you go to national convention, you get to meet FFA members from all over the country. And then also if you take classes like construction or Ag 1 or Ag 2 or greenhouse, that's all stuff you can use throughout your life. So I'd say it's pretty useful.
Okay. Very good.
I guess I'm going to wrap this whole question up with basically everything they said, and I'm going to just kind of explain it the best that I can, but I agree with all of these guys that responsibility is a main one. I mean, classes, FFA, CDEs, everything that we basically mentioned here. I mean, you have to have responsibility to complete those things. And
Easy, Wyatt. Relax.
Work ethic definitely comes into it too, especially in the shop and different classes that you have that involve the shop. You got to be able to actually be there and help the other students with different projects. Public speaking is another huge one. I mean, just like this, any other activities like this that allow you to get out and speak to, maybe it is the radio or other people or anything like that, especially the expo. I mean, you speak to judges, you speak to other exhibitors, everybody there. I mean, it allows you to work on those public speaking skills. And I think the very last one is, I missed it. It was there.
I had a brain once and it fell off the train just like yours just did.
Yeah, there was one more that they said, but I missed it, and it was a good one.
They're trying to review.
Yeah.
See if they can figure it out. Well, you guys have made excellent points about the benefits.
Yeah, they mentioned it all
ag
already, but
education,
they're all good.
FFA, and that's it's always fun to have a group together and share their thoughts about what the benefits have been in ag education FFA. We're about to wind down. We just got a minute or two. Anything anybody'd like to add that they feel like they need to share at this point?
I figured it out. It was social skills. Sean said it. Social skills like national convention. There's different. What are they? There's different places that the FFA goes, and I'm forgetting what they are. Anyway, anything that involves FFA that allows all the groups to come together and allows you to speak to other FFA members, that really helps your social skills. And that's the one that I missed.
And you've got it, and you tied up that loose end. Well, that said, these five gentlemen have done an excellent job. I'm going to ask Braden if he would take us kind of out with the last reading of that group of sponsors for this segment. They're actually sponsors for the whole day. I kind of misstated that. These folks, along with almost 50 total sponsors of FFA Day on KSMO Media. Braden, go through that list, please.
Finally, we would just like to thank these sponsors. Our title sponsor is Robertson Judson Lumber Company, Family Trash Services Incorporated, Chilton Oil Company, Goes Window Cleaning, Salem Community Center and Armory, Cuddy's Well Service and Plumbing LLC, and Plank Termite and Pest Control.
All right, with that, we thank you, and we'll send you back to Alan on the board.
Cuddy's Well Service.
I'm Dr. Tiffany Bland with Salem Memorial District Hospital. Recently, there have been many changes within our local clinics and hospitals, and you may find yourself looking for a new provider for your children. At SMDH, we would like to reach out to the community to let you know that we do see patients of all ages. Most of our providers are family practice, which means that we have been trained to see well-child visits as well as sick visits. Salem Memorial District Hospital. Every patient, every encounter, every time.
Duncan Family Chiropractic provides chiropractic care to everyone from newborn to elderly. Dr. Duncan treats wellness, sports injuries, chronic ear infections, pregnancy, and more. Ask Dr. Duncan about your full line of supplements, including Juice Plus and standard processed supplements, as well as pain relief, BioFreeze products.
If you have the audacity to believe a financial advisor should talk with you, not at you.
If you believe access to your financial advisor should be a right, not a privilege.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
Join us.
Join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.